All right, guys, what's going on? It's Jack, and welcome back to another video. And here we are again, spreading awareness as to something that we would like changed with XDefiant, especially since something of this nature has pretty much been a thing since launch. And exactly what are we talking about this time? Well, we're talking about lobbies disbanding. And to this day, this is one of the things that a lot of people are saying when they say, hey, if there's no skill-based matchmaking in the game, then why in the world are lobbies disbanding? Now, obviously, this particular question is an answer for the devs to decide, but to this day, no matter how sweaty, especially now, as of the time of this recording, since Season 2 launched not that long ago at all, lobbies definitely seem sweatier, but that's kind of no different than when the game launched, and of course from when Season 1 launched as well, because people are going to come back because they want to try out the new season, and a lot of these people that are aware of the new season coming out every 3 months, well, a lot of them are kind of sweaty, so to speak. So you're going to see, even if you see one extra sweaty player per lobby or per every other lobby, it is something that you're going to notice, especially if you are a player who plays often. You're going to feel the difference, you're going to notice the difference, and it's going to show in the scoreboards. But with that being said, I still don't believe that there is skill-based matchmaking in XDefiant. However, like I said previously, one of the biggest points that some people that will disagree with me will say that, hey, then why are my lobbies disbanding? Simple as that. So this is something that has been persistent ever since launch. Lobbies not disbanding are definitely a thing. And of course, with the player count being what it is now, to where it's not as high as it was within the first 4 to 6 weeks when this game first initially released, it would also make additional sense in order for this to not be a thing anymore. But I believe the devs did say a while back ago that the lobby disbanding thing is going to eventually stop, but it's been over 4 months since the game came out, and obviously it is not one of the top things on their to-do list. Obviously the netcode is. I personally think that once the netcode issue, either in mid-season of this season or towards the end of this season, once that gets ironed out a little bit more to where most people, hopefully, or if not all people, fingers crossed, feel a significant difference, I think it's safe to say that once we get to that point, I think a lot of things on the to-do list will be done, so to speak. But this is definitely one of the bigger requests as far as the community is concerned in terms of what they want, because one of the beauties of playing multiplayer games, as you guys know, is you're obviously meeting and socializing with other people. Even for the people that have their mics muted or that they've disabled voice chat, like myself, so to speak, people actually, here's a funny thing. I am recognized quite a bit in lobbies nowadays with XDefiant. You know, it just goes to show you, man, it's a small world. But for the most part, those interactions have been actually very, very positive. And it's GG's with you guys, by the way. It's nice playing with you guys. But the thing is this, though, when you have lobbies that do not disband, you have a much more enjoyable experience. Not just in terms of consistency, in terms of connection with the lobbies, because when you go from one lobby to the next, even a 10 or a 20 millisecond ping can make a difference in your experience. So if you find a lobby to where the ping is actually like really good in this particular lobby, right? Let's say you get like a 30 ping lobby or something like that, right? Well, that's pretty good. So you want to stay in there because everything feels really, really good. And, because when you're disbanding lobbies, you're forced to basically make a new search as if you backed out and searched again, which to a lot of players could also be annoying. And at the same time, there's no guarantee that the ping that you're going to get in that lobby, even though ping is king in the game, which I do believe, although that is the case in terms of ping being king, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to get another lobby that is also going to be 30 millisecond ping, right? The game does its best. I mean, you guys know, in terms of streams, I can go from being in an Eastern lobby to a lot of times in a Central lobby. I have a NetDuma R3 router, so I do block out in terms of the session, in terms of not getting that lobby again in the session, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the game is not going to try to match me, especially if I play really late into the night, into the early morning, degenerate hours of playtime, so to speak. It doesn't mean that the game is not going to try to put me in a central server in certain times that it needs to, in terms of, keeping the lobby search times short. But again, there's just so many things, and plus the going back to the social aspect of it, you can run into complete randoms. I mean, every once in a while, I kid you not, every once in a while, whenever I run into tryhards, And again, there's different examples of this, but I'm going to give you one example that I just thought of here. Sometimes I'll run into a team of tryhards, whether they're like 2 or 3 people, and sometimes what happens is I end up having like a really bad match, and I'm like, dang it, I wish I had another shot, another crack at this, so that way I can see if I can do better and challenge myself. Or like, let's say if it was a close match, it's like, dang, I would really love to play another match because it was close and it was also competitive, but yet at the same time, it was also like, it was like that perfect mix of competitive and casual, all in one shot. I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys know exactly what I'm talking about when I describe this. And basically what happens is, well, the lobbies disband, and chances are you're not going to play with them twice in a row. There's at least a 50-50 chance that you're not going to play with them twice in a row. Now, even with lobbies disbanding, there are times where you will meet the same people again and again, because again, ping is king, and chances are you'll meet the same people. I remember even in Black Ops 3, like whenever I tried to back out of a lobby or whatnot, it and look for a new one or something like that, or whether I was, trying to research a free-for-all or something like that, for instance, chances are I found the same players again and again. The only way I could find a brand new lobby from scratch was I'd have to back out and go all the way to the title screen and then kind of log in again, and then I would get like a truly fresh lobby, so to speak. So, but yeah, I mean, when you look at the social aspect of it, and even when you look at the competitive aspect, or even the casual aspect, actually, when you look at the entirety as a whole, the lobbies disbanding really don't they don't really do much of anything good. I mean, nothing that I can think of off the top of my head. If you guys can think of anything to where disbanding lobbies is a good thing, please let me know, so that way I could be further educated in it. But and especially since obviously looking for a new lobby is something that is also time consuming. Sometimes it takes longer than others, but for the most part, for me at least, in my experience, it's been fairly consistent. However, going from a game to game basis, well, when your lobbies are not disbanding, they're not taking nearly as you're just going to be an intermission for like about anywhere from like 30 seconds to a minute or something like that, while you maybe activate a booster or something like that, or maybe change up your class a little bit and modify that, or maybe put a new skin on or something like that, which 30 seconds to a minute seems about right to be able to do that. And before you know it, wham bam, you're loading into a new match again. So yeah, this is something that I think is even though it's not on the top of their to-do list, I think it is something that really kind of needs to move on up after sooner rather than later. And because a lot of people have been talking about that, and even though with season 2 just releasing not too long ago as of the time of this recording, and other things coming to light as far as all the changes and stuff like that come with a new season, as well as likes and dislikes of things that people like within the new season, this is something that has been very persistent ever since before the launch of the game. And to my recollection, it was discussed that would be no longer a thing sometime in the near future, but it still hasn't happened yet. So I would really, I mean, if I could ask the devs in terms of this particular subject, it's like, where are we at on this? Can you guys give me an ETA or something like this? So yeah, and I would like to know down in the comment section in terms of your experiences with this. What do you guys think? Do you think disbanding lobbies is a good thing, or do you think it is a bad thing? Let your opinions and thoughts be known down below. And as always, I'd like to thank everybody for taking the time to watch and or listen. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.